Good morning. I'm back on the ATC speakers today, ATC clones I should say. I've had these for ages. I've booked out the whole day. I'm just going to get cracking with them and get them done. Cabinets are done. As I showed in the other video, they are a bit blotchy here and there. I can't sand them any further. They've suffered from quite a bit of sun bleaching and it is quite far into the veneer. I think if I sand them further I risk going through the veneer. So they're nice and tidy, much tidier than they were before. The areas that are really bleached will be covered with the cover anyway, assuming the covers are on them. There is a bit of water damage on the top of this one, which I can't do anything about. It's gotten through the veneer and puffed up the MDF. So as I'm sanding it, I'm sanding a high spot, and ultimately if I go too hard I'm going to go through that and expose the MDF. So it's going to have to be what it is. That one is absolutely fine. Again, a bit of sun bleaching on the front, but yeah, there's not much I can do about that. I may give them another coat of hard wax, which may disguise it a little bit further. I'll see. So jobs I've got to do is take out that tweeter, who the company that built these glued the drivers in as well, and I actually had to use a threaded bar to push the blown tweeter out to replace it. I think I'm going to have to do the same with that, because the wires that they soldered on the back have fallen off. They were so dry, because the cable they used is so thick it just wicks the heat away from the soldering iron so quickly. Yeah, it's just a bit of a nightmare really. So we've got brand new mid-range drivers, which I'm nervous about because they are like £1,000 each, or something like that. So I haven't unboxed those. I'm going to do that on camera, and if there is any issues, I've got a record of it. So yeah, new mids in. The woofers will go back in, obviously. I need to clean them and treat the rubbers, that sort of thing. And then for the tri-wired binding posts on the back, I've got some brass bar, and I'm going to make a set of solid jumpers for those. And then recloth the covers. And I've also been asked to change all the black screws for brass screws, and I ordered a load of those, and they are here, so they can go in as well. So the plan today is to get these done. In between the last video and me starting this video, I have lined them with foam, because there was nothing in there other than a little bit of polyfill. They had some bituminous pads on them, but they are now, considering there's no drivers in here, much better. I've taken a video clip and some pictures of the work in here, so I'll put that in next. I've got to add a piece of tube to the port to correctly tune it. I only need 2 inches of this to go on the bottom of the angle piece that or the elbow they put in there, to tune that correctly, because one port is longer than the other, because they just literally cut it off with their teeth. So yeah, let's unpack those mids. Foam makes quite a difference if it's fixed to the actual cabinet walls. It's only one bit, so you would hear echoing inside the box, which this is now just with that one bit dampening. And in this one, which has nothing, I can also hear the echo of my voice in that. So the standing, or the waves behind the back wave from the driver, from the woofer, bounces around in there and re-energizes the cone, which we don't want. I know there was some polyfill in there before, which would have helped, but not to this extent. And we've only just started. They're my 2 port pieces, extensions that I needed. Cut them on the chop saw, perfect, same length. Lovely. It means our port tuning is going to be the same. Right, brand new mid-ranges, completely sealed. Completely sealed. Today is the 4th of February, so these haven't been unpacked yet. Let's do that now. Sorry, I've still got a bit of a cold. Okay. Okay, very nice. There's our gasket. That one comes off a bit easier. Very nice indeed. They weigh a ton. I don't like these kind of banana plugs they've got on them. I'd rather have a soldered connection. Okay. So the DC resistance and their voice coil inductance, yeah, it's basically identical. Okay, good, good, good. So all my brass bolts, so we've got some M4s which are for the tweeter and the rear panel, some M6s which are for the mid-range drivers, and some M5s which are for the woofers. That lot there is enough to do these two towers, or two floor standers. That's I think 60 or 70 quid's worth of brass bolts. They came from China and they got here within 5 days. If I want to buy those in the UK, it's pretty much double or triple that price. No wonder we import so much stuff from elsewhere. Why is that so expensive? Anyway. Right, so I'm going to fit the extension piece on the elbow for the port, get the mid in, get the woofer in, get everything reconnected, change the bolts, and I'm going to do that on time lapse. So here we go. Right, so that's one back together. New mid-range is in, which could do with pulling up a bit further, but there's a little rebate in the back that they sit in. That's it. Woofers are back in. Extra bit on our base port. Brass screws, brass screws, brass screws. Woofer was cleaned. Did the back before I put it in. I didn't want to clean it or treat it, I should say, until I'd finished. Mucky handprints. Woofer done. Yeah, this one's done. They'll both get a full measure up at the end. So yeah, I'm going to change the screws in the back and crack on with the other one. Hey, guess what? It's Devon and it's raining. All it does in Devon is rain. Right, so that's all the holes drilled for these bridging plates at the back. Pretty large plates, but then our binding posts at the back are enormous, so yeah, I needed something pretty substantial. So the next thing to do is to chop that up into 4 pieces and then give it a polish up. Blimey, right. I've had these for 4 months and they are finally done. I still have the centre to do, but that'll be probably a tack next week. But these are finished. I've done all the measurements and they're really good. Really, really good. I've also had a quick listen to them in here, and yeah, they're just nice. I'm hopefully going to take them into the lounge before they're collected, but they weigh 58 kilos each, so they are big old heavy beasts. Measurements are great. Measure better obviously without the covers on. The edges of the inside of the frame causes a little bit of diffraction. You can see a little phase issue right up high, but it's like 15-16 kilohertz, so yeah, it's not really going to make any difference, but the measurements are good. We got them right last time, and again, it's been really difficult to measure today because there's been so much background noise with the wind and rain and everything. But I've got something representative, and I'll put all the measurements in shortly, but really from 200 hertz all the way up to 20 kilohertz, they're probably plus minus 2 dB, 1.5, 2 dB. They're really good. And as you go off axis as well, they stay pretty cohesive too. So yeah, really pleased with them, and also quite relieved to get them finished, because they've been quite difficult to work on because of the size of them and the weight of them, moving them around. Obviously we had issues with the mid-range drivers. One was working, I think it had distortion in it, I can't remember. The other one was dead. One of the tweeters was dead, so we've stolen that from the center channel, so I still need to find another tweeter. The one from the center does measure ever so slightly differently, but it's right up high and still within like a dB, so nothing to worry about. Port tuning's done properly. I just had to extend the elbow a little bit by about 50 mil where it had been cut off. Ports are tuned to around 30 hertz. And when I was running the using the signal generator, they've got amazing bass. They really have. I mean, I can still hear them at 30 hertz, 25 just about, but then they're really pressurizing the room. So yeah, they're good. All done, and I'm relieved.